Evening, everybody. I'm Valerie, and I just graduated last year from Visual Communication Design.
And I'm Jeremy, and I just graduated last year from Visual Communication Design.
So I'm starting off at high school. So I was pretty nerdy at high school, and I did classics, chemistry, computers, what else? Stats, design and photography. And I really liked all of them. I knew that I wanted to go to university and study something with a bachelor's degree. I wasn't quite sure what. Yeah.
And I did painting, design, French, and then for some reason physics and calculus. Wasn't a good time.
So why design? My mum is an interior designer, and before that she was a textile designer and a fashion designer. So I've always grown up with creativity, and she was actually the one who pushed me to do a creative degree, which is something that you don't hear very often. And so, yeah, no, that's pretty much it actually. Yeah.
I always was into art, and I thought I wanted to be an artist. In the sort of year 12, 13, I was tossing up whether I wanted to do design or fine arts. And then within design, whether I wanted to do graphics or illustration. And I sort of made the choice that design was kind of like art, but maybe hopefully there's better job prospects, which I think my parents might have been quietly happy about. Yeah.
And I chose Massey because when I looked through in year 13, a lot of places like awards books and Googling and that sort of thing, Massey just kept coming up. The College of Creative Arts was everywhere. They still are, and they were winning all of the awards. They were internationally recognised, so I was like, well, these guys seem like the biggest and best, so obviously going to try and go there.
Yeah, and sort of Massey compared to Vic, at the time Vic was much, like just changing the degree, and it was much more digital focused, whereas I was more interested in print stuff. And then the like Polytechs sort of, I felt, lacked the kind of theoretical underpinning of what you're doing. Yeah, so sort of the teaching the technical skills, but sort of the university was like the academic side of things as well.
So 4 years at Massey, I guess when I came in, I thought I was going to be making logos and designing, like doing art direction for magazines. I was like, that seems like a vague sort of cool thing to come out of this with. But I guess I ended up learning, well, it kind of is summed up in what even is design, like where can I apply it to, what does it mean. I learned a lot of how to be creative, and I learned a lot about like, just like critical theories and that sort of thing as well. That's pretty much what came out of this degree.
Yeah, sort of I similarly came in thinking I'd be doing like magazines or like gig posters or something. Sort of I had no real idea of what I'd be doing at the end of it, and sort of over the course of the degree I discovered that the design isn't just what you make, it's not just the pretty wrapping on things, it's also the meaning behind it, sort of,
Okay, so this is some of the stuff I did in my 4 years. So in first year, we did do a lot of just trying out lots of different degrees, well, just disciplines really. So this was my attempt at being kind of fine arty. This one on the left, it was all about like, it was called Making Space, and it was like exploring the context of space and all that sort of thing. So yeah, that was that. I also, in the second year, we did some branding, which was awesome. I loved that. And also Massey's a university, which means that they do a bunch of different things here. So in first year I did, as one of my electives, a paper from a College of Business, a marketing one. And in second year I did a paper from College of Humanities, which was social psychology, which is super, super interesting, especially because I started being really interested in advertising. So second and third year I was super convinced that I was going to do advertising for the rest of my life, and I really loved it. So I might do, but I've kind of changed my opinion slightly again. At the end over there is a typographic project I did, which got me membership into the International Society of Typographic Designers. And in the middle is some graphics, shark ice cream, from an app that a group of us designed in fourth year. So that's not that, like, it was an app, you only see the graphics there, by the way. This is my honours project in 4th year. So what it was is, it's basically a game that business people and large organisations, mostly public sector ones, can use to see how they can listen to the person or listen to a user-centric point of view rather than listen to a business point of view.
I don't have any work from first year because I didn't take any photos, which I always do. Done the middle tour from graphics, so sort of working small and big, so postage stamps and like a poster for a play. Really enjoy working within restrictions, so like stamps you have to use like 4 colours max and stuff. This guy here is Larry the Lava, and he's a persona for a library user at Massey, so sort of as a third year paper, we designed the library experience at Massey, and sort of it's about understanding the different user types and designing things that suit those people. Even though I decided to go with graphics, I still felt it was important to keep up my artiness, so I did tried to keep up like illustration electives, so that's my face, quite big. And that's Prometheus movie poster, like recontextualized as a 1950s pulpy thing. In the middle is something I worked on with a classmate called Never Don't Vote, and it's like a transmedia campaign to like Twitter for politics, even more than Twitter already is. Sort of to try and get a sustained engagement for young people into politics. Yeah. And yeah. Cool. So over the course of my degree, I sort of went from graphics, and through that discovered branding, and through that sort of experience in service design. And I really got interested into branding stuff. So for my final project, I decided to rebrand communism. So I turned a hammer and sickle into a pretty flower, basically. Yeah, so sort of rebranded it as a kind of 50s style, really in-depth branding manual. Yeah, which was interesting.
And this is where, I mean, we both studied BCD and we're in the same year, but this is where our like design journeys kind of match up again. So we both, during our design degrees and post graduating, worked at a design studio called Openlab, and I have a wee video to show you what Openlab is.
This is Openlab. We are the design studio of the College of Creative Arts. We're a collaborative space where undergraduates, graduates, staff and industry all get together to work on exciting projects. Openlab is a bridging mechanism that allows students to work whilst they're still studying. They get to work with staff and with industry on exciting commercial projects.
So working with Openlab helps New Zealand Post in 2 ways, I think. Firstly, it enables us to work with people who have grown up digital. There's not a lot of those people in the business itself, so it's great to have them come in with their views. But not only that, not are they only like millennial customers of ours, but they're trained designers. They know how to work fast, iteratively and collaboratively, and they can really help our people to work in different ways.
At the beginning of every project, we start with a discovery workshop. This is where we get the students and other team members together with the client and start really interrogating the brief. We dig down to what it is that the project needs.
So Openlab gave me really good design thinking tools. They've got a really good understanding of the design process, and they really kind of allow you to explore that. Learning that design thinking process gave me a really good foundation for being able to take those design thinking tools to Te Papa and share them with the organisation.
One of the benefits of students working with Openlab is that they're able to, alongside their studies, actually get paid for the projects that they work on. They have a lot of client interface and they take on responsibilities, and they learn those peripheral, ever important skills that are needed in industry.
Right now I'm a product designer at Xero, and what I do is basically design features for the app and accountants everywhere, small businesses. And what Openlab taught me was how to be confident with my ideas and how to present them well and anything related to the project and the client.
One of the things I love about Openlab is the energy of the space from the variety of projects that we work on and the enthused and engaging minds of our ever-evolving team.
Yeah, so Openlab is a studio where you can get paid to do work with real clients, which is quite good if you're like too afraid to go out to people. It's much easier to go talk to people who are part of the university. They sort of guide you through the process. Yeah, sort of get brought on at a casual basis to work on a variety of different projects. Yeah.
So we've both kind of moved on from Openlab. So I'm currently working at Department of Internal Affairs. I'm a service designer there. So what that means is I design services and how users interact with those services. So it's a very creative sort of problem-solving job.
Yeah, and through Openlab, which I got a job at Openlab from my rebranding communism project to a branding project. And from Openlab, I got a job at the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment. So I've been an intern there for 7 months, and I've recently accepted a role there as an advisor. And I'm part of a service design policy team, which acts as a sort of internal service design consultancy for the agency. So we get to run workshops to try and improve services and make policy and everything more human-centered sort of for the wide variety of customers that the agency has.
It involves a lot of talking to people and finding out what they need and then bringing that back into the government, which is something I really enjoy.
And probably not what I expected I'd be doing now 5 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. So what's next? I have a wee bit of a travel bug because I wasn't actually born in New Zealand, so I've done a wee bit of travelling. So anything to do with travel or going overseas or different cultures, or if any of you work in Air New Zealand or Emirates, please get in contact with me after this. So anything to do with that is probably where I'd like to go from now, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I don't know what I'm going to do or what I want to do, and I never really have. I sort of know that I want to work in this design space, but that I don't know what that will mean in 2, 5, 10 years. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.